Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Ryan of Degenerate Passive Income coming to you today on a Tuesday evening, December 9th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, we are always here every Tuesday night. We missed last week, obviously, because AJ was traveling, I was traveling. We can't do much about it, guys. I'm still traveling. I'm in Antigua right now, a little R&R, hitting the beach, having some cocktails, doing whatever. Before we get back into it, we've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. Of course, we've got Bernard bonds, we've got DexFi, we've got treasury bonds, we've got L-Stake, we've got FortuneFi, EarnFi, Honor versus Madness. It is all here under one umbrella as usual. Fully doxed team, doxed wallets. I don't know what else anybody wants, but this is the next best thing, okay? Nobody else is doing it in the space. Nobody else is giving these returns. And that's, there's no FUD about it. You cannot FUD. It is unfuddable when everything is proved online. And that's what the space wants, that's what the space needs. And I'm excited about it. I've got Graham, everybody knows him as Grover321, or Furry Blue Me in the chats on my YouTube videos. He's an absolute legend. This is one of the smartest guys I know. He answers all the questions. You know, pretty much in the chat on the other, on all of our previous AMAs, I invited him in this time and said, you know what? Hey, you might as well come on because, you know what? You're just as smart as, you're way smarter than me, just as smart as AJ. And you know what? I welcome him. Thank you, Graham, for joining. It's always a pleasure. And we're going to talk a little bit about L-Stake tonight. There's lots of questions. There's a private Telegram group. Actually, it's public now. To join for that, I'll put that link in the description as well. And we're going to talk about everything. We're talking about the market. We have $94,000 Bitcoin today. We got $3,300 ETH, almost touching 34. So I'm bullish on that. It's about time. Is this the start of the bull run? I do not know. You never know. PNC Bank announced today. I think that's why it ran up a little bit. They announced they're accepting Bitcoin as a trading partner or platform or whatever. I read real quick. I was just scanning through while I was at the pool. So that was big news. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, we've got Mr. Powell, everybody's favorite. For those of you who like him, he's going to talk about.
We don't even like him over here in Australia, mate.
Yeah, so there you go. Straight from the horse's mouth. Graham doesn't even like him. He doesn't even live in the country. You know, so are we going to get 25 points? I'm assuming we are. You know, a decrease in rates. 50 would be amazing. I think if we saw 50 tomorrow, a big surprise, that would absolutely, Bitcoin would absolutely take off, and I'd be super excited about that, but I don't think we will. But any little thing is a little bit better than nothing. So it's just going to boost the markets. And that's the markets right now. We've got, you know, almost 7,000 bonds minted for the Bernard bonds right now. Unbelievable, $246,000 with the USDC paid out. So that's insane too. We had like 570 bonds bought in the last 2 weeks, worth about $52,000. Nothing wrong with that. So people are still interested in bonds. They know it's real yield. You know, everybody's, you know, some people are like, oh, I'm only getting 40% APR. You know, what is that? You know what? That's 3.5%. That's 3.5%. Yeah, exactly. That's 3.5% a month, ladies and gentlemen, is what that is. You're not getting that at your bank. You're not getting that liquidity farming on your own. If you are, it's a full-time job. I'm getting that just sitting on my ass doing absolutely nothing. And that is what I like to do. I'm at the pool having Mai Tais while I'm making 40% APR. This is what I want to do. This is where I have a lot of my ETH on base, obviously. Stacked. Obviously, I hold a ton of my ledger, just like Graham and AJ as well. We're all bullish on ETH, Bitcoin, you know, everything like that. And that's the gist of it. We're here every week, like I said. APR is 40%. Yeah, it's not 150. It's not 100. It's not, you know, 60, 80. It's 40.47. It's 2% less than DexFi treasury bonds. Okay, we can go over there and look at that. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, 42.31 right there, and we've got 40.47. So a little bit more than 2%. I have both. Like I love both DexFi treasury. I got a big bag in each. I've got multiple wallets. I'm bullish on it because I'm not doing anything making that kind of APR. And, you know, we've got FortuneFi coming out for those of you who like to, you know, play games. We've got L Stake coming out, you know, we're doing the private raise for that right now. There's a private Telegram, or not a public Telegram group for that right now. $500 USDC on base minimum. And that's what Graham, we're going to talk about that some tonight as well. We're going to try to keep it short and sweet. And I know we like to stay an hour. It's been about an hour and a half normally, but we'll try run through everything. I think most people know what Bernard Bonds is, what it's all about, how transparent it is. I just want to show that, and I want to thank them. Okay. We had right here $3,000 worth of redemptions on our bonds. Well, thank you very much for whoever redeemed your bonds at the all-time low. I will take your 10%, the $300, and I'm going to earn on that while you guys just cast your things in, your bonds in, and I don't know what you're doing. But you do you. Maybe it's an emergency. Good for you. Well, hopefully everybody's okay. But now I'm earning on that $300 that you left for me in the platform. So thank you for selling. Please keep going. I want to earn on money that people are willing to sacrifice. So I just want to touch on that because we were at 69.93, I think was the high for Bernard Bonds. And I come back here before the show and we're at 69.60. So I went and looked back. Okay, 36, 37 bonds were sold, whatever. I'm taking advantage of that. And everybody who owns Bernard Bonds is taking advantage of that well, because you're getting a slice of the pie. And I love that part about Bernard Bonds. When you redeem, you are giving up a 10% penalty or a tax. That stays in the protocol. It doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to AJ. It doesn't go to Jake. Stays in the protocol and earns for the rest of us OG holders that are smart and want to keep our Bernard Bonds working for them. You can see right here, I've got 281.15 that I can claim. I wait till that's about $1,000 and I claim it and most of the time I switch it over from USDC to ETH on base and I compound back in. That's not saying you should do that, but this is what I do. Okay. The price of I've been blabbling so much right now that we're waiting for AJ. I think he's having technical difficulties. I'm not sure, but we're going to get through everything tonight. Thank God Grover is here, the man, and he will answer any questions as well in the chat. So please ask questions because he knows everything. Obviously, if you're in the Plazm chats, we're going to talk about Plazm as well. He's in the we've got day 78 coming in, I think 6 days. All right. And we are going to go live on my channel when my stakes are up. And I'm going to compound every single cent. I don't care if I'm making how many ever thousands of dollars. I'm compounding it back in for 5 full 77-day cycles, just for the content to show you guys woulda, shoulda, coulda. And we're going to see who's right. I think I'm going to be the winner in the end. Maybe I'm an idiot. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, but this is what I think. So Plazm is coming up. We're going to talk about Plazm as well. But any question of Bernard Bonds, like I said, 246,000 USD distributed, 6,960 bonds minted. We just had a sell-off of 36 bonds, I think it was 37, whatever it was, about $3,000 worth. So thank you for the 10%. Obviously, like I said, bonds right now are 0.0267 in ETH, which is about $88.40. Obviously, everybody knows how the price of bonds are determined and how Bernard Bonds works. I know all 23 people in this chat are like, yeah, get to the good stuff. We know how Bernard Bonds work. We want to hear about everything else going on. And that's what we're here to do, guys. So please ask questions in the chat. I've got 166 bonds. I'm making 40.46% on $14,673. That's how that works. 40.46 is about, if you're to do the math, it's about 0.1% a day. Okay. Very close to that. That's amazing. Okay. I just got a DM from AJ. He says he's having internet issues. He'll be here shortly. So we'll get him on here. Don't worry. You're not stuck with our two ugly mugs. You know, fortunately, AJ's the only good looking one here.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the deal, guys, with Bernard Bonds. It's rocking and rolling. Remember, you click this button right here, it brings you over here. No other protocol is doing this. It shows you when people mint. It shows people when they redeem right there. There's $3,000 right there that people redeemed worth of their bonds. I don't know what they're thinking, but whatever. This is a no judging zone. It shows when people mint. It shows when we create a vault. Everything is here for you to see. 100% transparency. And you can also see the whole portfolio. Everyone's like, why don't we get this $44,000 of ETH on base working for us? Well, because Jake and AJ don't think the bottom is in yet. All right. Or they think they're waiting for a different position or whatever. It's not about just throwing a bunch of, you throw enough crap at a wall, something's going to stick. That's not what we do here. Okay. It's educated, it's well thought out, and that's how they roll. I respect that, because even I was like, hey, let's get this money working for us, and let's see what happens. Right. And the answer was, hey, we don't, we think there's positions. We're still looking. We're not going to rush into anything. I respect that. I don't have patience for that. I go in.
Sorry to interject, but let's be honest as well. That Ethereum there is basically a hedge, as it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is a hedge, like holding exactly. ETH. That ETH was worth $40,000 this morning because no one has minted it, right? And now they're $4,000 up. So it is kind of a hedge, right? I'm glad you said that, Graham, because I never thought about it like that. So they're bullish on ETH, just like everybody else is, or most people. I'm a huge ETH holder. I'm an ETH maxi, just like I'm a Bitcoin maxi. And is there anything I'm missing on that, Graham? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't. I mean, like, as I said, I mean, like holding it. I mean, like just automatically putting funds into active use isn't always the best option. Either the bottom isn't in, or it can be better utilized as a hedge, because there might be more upside in actually having that as pure ETH. Right. So I mean, look, it's a smart move. I mean, the other thing I would like to add, I mean, I just quickly looked at the stats, and although there has been quite a while where the APR has been low, the 180-day moving average APR is nearly is about 55%.
Right, exactly. And AJ is in the house. Look at this.
Wow, I'm crashing the party, man. I'm getting replaced from the one and only Grover. Oh man, I love it. Sorry about that, guys. It never a dull moment. We had a lightning storm here in beautiful South Florida. No snow, but we're always getting lightning. So anyway, I'm back. How are you guys?
Right. Excellent. We're just talking about the price of ETH and the little bit of run up of Bitcoin that over 94 today. ETH almost touching 3,400. I'm excited about that. The last time we had any run up on a Tuesday, AJ, I don't remember, because everything seems to crash on us.
Yeah, bro, no doubt, Ryan. I know that's an inside joke. Every time we do our AMAs, we have to deal with the dumpage. But yeah, man, this is looking good. Again, I don't want to get too excited. I think we still have some volatility ahead, but like we said last week, this has all been pure manipulation, and I think that with the global liquidity cycles and hopefully a rate cut tomorrow, this hopefully is the beginning of the next leg. And yeah, I mean, look at that green. That's a green candle for sure today. Yeah, looking pretty healthy.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That's what was that in? It was like in about an hour and a half. It went like that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah. So we're enjoying that today again. Bond ETH value. The ratio has been about the same, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But the actual dollar value is up because ETH is up, and yeah, everything's coming together. I think again, 3,300 ETH is still criminally undervalued. So I think we, going into next year, and we usually always see this. I mean, that's another thing we can talk about tonight too, with the APR being lower. Around the holidays, the end of the year, volume just completely dries up anyway, and that's a normal with crypto, with traditional markets, everybody is spending time with their families, and a lot of hedge fund managers or big whales want to protect their profits that they may have made, throughout the year. And so we really just don't see a lot of moves being made in the last month of the year. So yeah, I think getting through December, even with a Christmas rally, next year should be really, really powerful.
Yeah, and I just think that, I'm surprised at this number right here, 32 billion in volume, and that was down. I saw it as low last week as like 9 or 10 billion, and now it's at 32. So I mean, that's a positive. That's how we're printing money, guys. Okay, the fees on all these trades and people exchanging and doing whatever they do. This is how we get paid in bonds, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. We love volume. That is what we're here for. People buying, selling, everything. And I was also telling everyone, today, AJ, that we almost touched 7,000 bonds. We were about 5 away, and then we had a sell-off of like 38 bonds, which we could track, obviously, right under transactions, which is amazing. Like $3,000 worth of ETH on base shelled out to people who sold. Which, hey, I'll take that $300 because we're getting 10%. And I will take a slice of that pie every single day until, I decide that I'm no longer going to be in Bernard bonds or ETH, which probably will never happen because I love it. It's my main protocol. And that's what people need to understand, is that 10% doesn't go to anybody else. It stays in the protocol working for us. And maybe they needed the money. Maybe they, something happened. I hope everybody is okay. But that, to me, selling at 88, 89 bucks, I mean, I'm not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. I mean, again, we don't sell shame, and that's the beauty of the protocol. But I hope that wasn't a prime example of selling the bottom. And yeah, Jake and I actually, we had a call today, and we were joking with each other. The Bernard bonds holders are literally the most diamond-handed people in crypto. I mean, this has been the biggest redemption, I think, that you've had, and it's just been 30 bonds from the
Right.
beginning. So yeah, that's so funny that you brought that up. So we're almost at that 7,000 mark. We'll get you over the line, Ryan, for sure.
Right. Yeah. And maybe we should talk about that real quick. The price of the bond, AJ. Just real quick, a quick summary of how how is that. I know I don't ever look at the dollar value because ETH goes up and down, but how is that 0.0267? How is that made up?
Yeah, for sure. So, and this is a great segue too, because and shout out to CK. I know one of your longtime members. He's been doing some incredible videos, AI videos, but incredible videos nonetheless. Again, when you learn how to use AI properly, it's so powerful. So he's been killing it, and there's a series that we're gonna release soon. He just sent me the first 3 videos today that go over this, and I think will make it really easy for people to understand. But the short answer is it has to do with the exposure to the other alts that are within the fund against the price appreciation of Ethereum. So we do obviously take a little more risk in going into what we call alt tokens, although they're not, memes. Literally every alt token we have exposure to, EDL, Limitless, REI, Banker. They're all, even though they're alts, they have real yield, real revenue, actual, business models coming in. And so the reason that we pick these is that they have a lot more volume to liquidity ratio, meaning, $1 million of liquidity, but like $10 million a day in volume. And that ratio is what produces higher APR. So again, we have this delicate balance of having exposure to non-blue chip assets, but we have to do that at least in moderation to produce a higher APR. So all of that matters with the actual bond ETH ratio. And if the alts that we have exposure to, again, example of Banker or REI or any of the other tokens you may not recognize within the fund, if those go down against Ethereum, meaning they go down quicker than the price of ETH going down, then that ratio goes down. But vice versa, if the alts outperform ETH, then that ratio goes back up. And now we've moved to a 50-50 compounding strategy. So we went from 70-30 to 60-40, and now we're up to 50-50. And what that does is, although it will reduce the APR slightly, now we're gaining on that ETH ratio as well, and really boosting principal values until we get back into a nice range from the all-time highs. So again, that's all. It's a lot of math. It can't be really simplified. I'm sure Grover can elaborate. But obviously, we look at that as a metric. But ultimately, we have pretty much found a floor. I mean, again, even though bonds started at 0.1, realistically, the average price of bonds has been almost half of that. So we really aren't seeing a lot of drawdown that people think. And it can go the other way so quickly because we have reduced our cost basis. So even if these alts that we have exposure to, we may be down, say, 80% from all-time highs, but our cost basis is only down like 20% because we've been compounding. So we don't need the alts to regain all-time highs, which honestly may never happen. But if they go up 10-20%, then now we're killing it because we're right back where we started and we're earning yield on top of that with a much higher ownership percentage in the LPs as well. So there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Well, I mean, like, I will add a few things. I mean, like, basically the alts that are being invested in. I mean, like, a lot of them you could call blue chip altcoins because they are solid coins. It's not like they're going to disappear, and when a rebound happens, they are going to perform very well. The other thing I'd like to point out is the alt index is at an abysmal level. I believe it's 12. Is at 12 at the moment. 18. The alt index is at 18. So I mean, like, alt-wise, we're at the bottom, and it's going to rebound as soon as things start pumping. And the bonds have been DCAing all the way down, so that it'll rebound hard when the alts rebound.
Right.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Yeah.
I think so as well. And like I was telling Grover earlier before you came on, AJ, like everyone's like, oh my gosh, we're only getting about 3.5% AP, APR. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know where else you're getting 3.5% APR, even if they're liquidity farming on their own, if they're trading something, maybe if they're expert traders or something, trying to buy the bottoms and sell the tops, and especially without doing anything. It just sits here. I come once every couple of weeks and I claim, or I do it live with you guys. I mean, there's nothing wrong with 3.5% a month. Obviously, everybody wants to see 80, 90, 100, whatever it's going to be, and I think it will get back up there, and our price of our bonds will go up as soon as the bull starts running really hard. But 3.5% a month is still 3.5% a month, which I think is amazing money, right?
You wouldn't get that in a bank. For sure. You wouldn't get 3.5% a year in a bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and all that is 100% true, Ryan. And we, again, just to put real numbers to this and also put a little bit of perspective on it, that APR is essentially 1 week in the rear anyway, and we top up again tomorrow, and we've already seen the yield jump dramatically in just the last 2 days, especially today, like you said, when the volume increased. So again, the APR on a weekly basis even is still way too short of a time frame, and luckily Grover and John have put together Fusion Watch, where we do see an average APR of the months past, and in reality, it's much higher. I think probably more like 60 or 65%, somewhere in there.
Bernard's is about 55, 60 when I just
Yeah.
checked.
Yeah. So, and that again, when APR goes back up over that, it will increase as well. So, and then one more thing I wanted to mention too, Ryan, and again, this is where full transparency comes into play. So other protocols, again, we don't like to talk bad about other protocols, but it's a perfect example because we saw what happened, and that's with PACA. Without a variable rate APR, it is down. It is doomed to failure. And so what PACA did not do was they were paying incredibly high APR, praying that it would recover, and it never did, or the liability became too high to cover. And so in our system, I find it bullish that the APR is variable because we know it's real. We know even if APR went to 10%, at least that it's not all made up numbers and it's real data based on what is being produced. So we don't have to lie to anybody. We don't have to be, have this non-transparent abyss. It is what it is. And, again, that if we could do 100 or 200% APR, but then everybody loses their money and it's a game over. And unfortunately, that's what we saw here with PACA. So, yeah.
And the thing is, like having a variable APR, it means that it goes up and down, but it doesn't stop. You're not having to support
and we're never pausing it
and lose money and add liability. It just keeps on going.
Totally.
It just goes up and down. So you've got a constant yield, which is one reason why they're ideal for a project such as LStake.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to talk about that for sure. I know you guys did another AMA. I've been so busy, I haven't been keeping up, but that's another great proof of concept for how real yield really changes the game moving forward. And yeah, I don't know. Did you get an update from PACA, Ryan? Have they paid anything out? They missed another epoch.
They missed another epoch on the first. Saying that there's just nobody. Another announcement saying nobody that's in the yield farming is making any money, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So it's just another excuse. I mean, honestly, I'm calling it done for those guys. I hope not, because nobody wants to see anybody losing any money, but. From here, everyone's fed up in the chat, and they're just, they're really quiet. They're not saying much, and things of that nature. But you know what? Whatever they want to do, they know where to get hold of us if they want to deploy some of their capital. It is what it is. We've already talked about so much of them, and we don't want to give them any, airtime because I just don't think they can swallow their pride, which is fine. I probably wouldn't be able to either. But you know what? When you've got $2.5 million worth of people's money that's just sitting there, it's time to get it to work. And you're not going to do any good doing that liquidity farming. Two guys doing that 24/7. That's just it doesn't work like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, AJ.
Yeah, no doubt, Ryan. Again, I mean, the offer is still there, and they don't even have to talk to me or you or Grover or anybody. They can just put their LPs to work within DexFi and get it going. But again, it's sad. Obviously PACA, and I know even Bitnest now, that's been the talk of the town. But they just put out an announcement yesterday about a token or rewarding LP providers. That is 100% the sign of the end, bro. So I don't have to tell you that. But again, no transparency. There is, you can verify that the money is in on chain, but you don't know where the money is coming from. Again, it's just nobody does what we do, in literally down to the penny. And yeah, what you're showing here now, all the vaults, all the LPs, all the exposures, literally money in, money out. on the transaction page. It's all right here for everybody to see.
Exactly, and that's what's beautiful about it. Nobody else is doing this, guys. I mean, this is what transparency is all about. So you can see every single dollar go in, out, know where it's going. Doc's team, things of that nature. We preach about it every single week. It's just a matter of time before everyone's like, yeah, you know what, this is the real deal, and it might take till another 6 months or whatever. Bernard Bonds is over 6 months old. Tomorrow, I think it is.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, and speaking of that, we have a really special announcement tomorrow. I know we teased it last week, but we have paid out over $1 million between Bernard Bonds and DexFi Treasury. So I was working on a post earlier today for that. Keep an eye out. But how can you argue with that, Ryan? I mean, good God, man, $1 million and just over, well, to the day almost. Of 6 months. Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's impressive. I mean, like, that's impressive for any protocol.
Yeah,
we got 100%.
246,000 here and 791 here. So that's $1 million and whatever, $30,000. I mean, that's crazy money. Obviously 23,522 bonds minted. Plazm had a huge impact on that because they own a bunch of bonds in this. Everyone,
yeah, almost 20% of bonds are now owned by Plazm. So yeah,
right.
And we're building awesome stuff for that same effect in Bernard Bonds. I don't know if I missed the in the beginning, but we have a lot to talk about LStake and FortuneFi. So yeah, I don't know what you want to go on to next, Ryan. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, or maybe I might just hand this over to Grover and just give us a quick a quick rundown of what LStake is and what the opportunity is until launch date.
Okay. LStake, in a nutshell, is a liquid staking, a yield-bearing liquid staking derivative token. All right. You invest your money, it goes into LStake, and that buys a yield and your hedge. All right. You get your LStake token, and then you put it into the liquid staking derivative token, which we had to change the name a little bit because it was causing confusion. So that goes into the extra layer token. That extra layer token increases in ratio. So from when you go in to when you get out of there, you end up getting more. The backing behind the actual behind LStake has been continually increasing because of real yield, and then you can then you can exit with those tokens with a multiple more amount of money than you went when you went in. That's it basically. And then we port that same system to other projects such as eShare, such as whatever, and the LStake project earns fees from that. The partner project gets immediate use case, gets a system which puts a constant buy pressure on their token, and also locks tokens out of circulation until they're redeemed. So win-win-win for everyone there. That is a very simple nutshell of how it works. I mean, like, there are other liquid staking options out there, but all of them either use emissions, minting tokens, or yield sources that are very low yield, like yield from running nodes and those types of things. There's nothing out there that I've seen that has a higher yield backbone and has a hedge. The hedge that we've got, I think, is something that's a really big selling point, especially in this market. Right, having a hedge of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we are going to. I've spoken to the devs and everything. It's going to be no issue. Be able to have PACG gold, right, as a hedge. So that's up to 20% can be held as a hedge, right? You've got Bitcoin for overall crypto exposure. You've got Ethereum for your DeFi exposure, and you've got your gold hedge there for adverse markets protection, because when the crypto craps the bed, gold goes up. So that the same with TradFi. When the stocks crash, gold goes up. Everyone flocks to it. So you have that hedge. It helps maintain helps maintain a stable price and keep the whole ball running. So
Right.
that is a good nutshell of what we're offering. Obviously, there are a lot of mechanics in there as well that help increase the backing. There are a variety of routing rules and that involve some burn mechanics to reduce the supply and increase the ratio of backing, and a variety of other things, which we could spend hours discussing if we wanted to dive down that rabbit hole.
Right. So what is the opportunity right now is we've already raised the initial capital to develop it for the money for the audits, money for the website, white papers, everything like that. So we're just looking for liquidity right now. And what does all that entail?
Right. Okay. Well, we've designed it. We've already raised nearly 10,000, and it's only really been open a couple of days. So that's a good sign, a really good sign, and we haven't really been actively massively promoting it. Minimum investment is 500 USDC on base. The wallet address is available on the site. Also can be we can sort that out for wherever else we need to post that. Then there is a Telegram group, as Ryan's mentioned. For that $500, all right, what you get out of that, 20% of that investment you will get straight up as L-Stake on launch. All right. The other 80%, all right, that bootstrap liquidity goes into a private vault for all of the pre-launch bootstrap liquidity providers, and from that you get 80% of the yield, which you can claim from day dot. 15% of that yield. Hang on, I think I've frozen. 15% of that yield compounds, and 5% burns L-Stake, increasing the relative backing of L-Stake and helping pump the system itself. That liquidity, in order to ensure that there isn't a dump of bootstrap liquidity, is locked for 90 days. The release, again, to prevent a massive liquidity dump upon release, I've organized it so it's released based upon protocol liquidity increase. Right at the beginning of each month, a portion of the bootstrap liquidity be made available to be removed and claimed as L-Stake, and the amount will be based upon a minimum of 50% of the increase in POL. That way, you can exit over time and not massively hurt the system, and also being paid in L-Stake, it creates buy pressure. On top of all of that, at the moment, there's an early bird special. You get 5% rebate on your liquidity provision amount. So out of that, that's $400. You get my brain's not working at the moment. At the moment, what's that? My brain really isn't working at the moment. 5%. Yeah. That's an extra $20 of L-Stake free. So that brings your actual total investment down. Your total investment cost down to $480 instead of $500.
Okay, and that's till January 2nd, right?
That's till January the 2nd. I'm not excluding extending that that offer because there is obviously Christmas and New Year's in there.
Right. And what is there a specific launch date that we're looking at, or how is that looking development wise and things of that nature?
Development wise, the developers have said mid to late January, early February. Developers being what developers are, being realistic, I feel it'll end up being in February somewhere, because developers have a tendency to say, yeah, it'll be done now, and it's done a week later.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good, overview of what LSTake is, and so when someone puts in, like, say when it launches, say someone puts in $1,000, 95% of that money is going into buying Bernard bonds, which is going to help out
buying Bernard bonds or and hedge. There's and hedge funds. However, at the beginning, because we want to maximize the how robust the system is and maximize yield, right? The amount that will be the amounts that will be buying Bernard bonds will be 90% Bernard bonds, 5% hedge, and then there is the 5% treasury allocation. However, while we're in getting the system going and everything like that, only our debt and minimum operational funds will be taking out of that, and the remainder goes back into hedge and yield bearing and bonds. So to get us all off to a good start before we start thinking of anything apart from debts and startup cost repayment.
Right.
Will be, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, if you're interested in that, it's a 500 USDC on base minimum. The announcement is in all of my Telegram groups, every single one. DM, I put his actual Telegram ID in there. You can DM him, send him your transaction ID, talk to him. If you have any questions, join the group. I'll post that. That's posted as well. Just go in my group, guys. Everything is in there for that. If you want to get involved before January 2nd, I'm going in heavy, obviously, and but that's just me. That's not saying you should, because it's going to help Bernard bonds. Helps Bernard. What helps Bernard bonds helps DexFi. What helps DexFi helps out the whole ecosystem of EMP. It is one big, I like to call it factory. Maybe that's not the right word, but everything works together. We're pumping out, a different product all the time, and it all helps, all in the same ecosystem. And from what I understand, this is under the EMP umbrella, correct?
Yes, but it is. Although while I've taken the lead of getting this happen, it's all under the EMP umbrella. We will actually have a raise site out very soon. John's involved with it as me as well, as he is with Fusion Watch. He's sorting out a site there, and so that'll be up complete relatively soon. So
Excellent.
you'll be able to go to that.
Yep, for sure. And just to add to that, 100%, under our umbrella, the same devs that built Plazm are the same devs that are building this, and our devs are busy with vaults and all the other maintenance that goes into white labels and everything else, but they're anything that our guys need to help with will as well. And the wallet that is being used for collecting the funds, I own that. So again, no need to worry about people getting scammed or screwed or whatever. And again, Grover's been an indirect part of the team for many months, if not years now, and originally member of DexFi, so team member of DexFi. So again, he's been around the block, and between him and him and John, they're more than capable. And again, Jake and I have our plates full. So when Grover brought this idea and wanted to be the face and run it, and has all these amazing math ideas and liquid staking and XL staking and full collateralized backing, it was right up his alley. So we're letting him run with it for sure.
Yeah, and making gonna make this thing as bulletproof as I possibly can. I mean, like, nothing's ever bulletproof, but that's certainly my goal.
For sure. Well, and I think one more thing.
Yep.
Oh, one more thing I was going to say, Grover, that I saw you wrote, and I think you did this comparison in the Telegram, but I think it's really good to go over. I think the question that keeps coming up is, why would I go into L stake rather than just going into bonds directly? And you did a great breakdown of how it's actually over the long run, probably a little more flexible and even a little bit more profitable to go that route. So yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. I can repost that post as well. But basically, how that went is it went through all of the systems, and it worked out that based on a 40% APR of Bernard bonds, right? Obviously, you came out with 40%, right? With L stake, you came out with 55 to 60% because in a conservative scenario, 55 to 60% on top, because there's more yields, more yield streams that come from internal structure and expansion through to liquid staking as a service partners. On top of that, bonds, they are a great product, and they really are a great product, and that's why the system has it as its initial primary yield bearing source. But there are a couple of things that you have to deal with. First is, if you want to exit, you've got a 10% tax. So straight up on exit, you're losing 10%. The other part is you can only sell, you can only redeem a whole bond. So if you've got a bond there, and let's say the price is back up at is at $100, whatever, right? You can't redeem half of that bond, right? This system fractionalizes it, so you can redeem basically. Well, you can exit with basically any portion of a bond. You don't have the 10% tax on exit. All you have to worry about is slippage, right? And I mean, like, worst case horrible slippage, you're looking at 5%. So I mean, like, you're already 5%. You're already 5% up on your on exit. And then again, by holding for the same period of time, so by holding for a year, Bernard bonds at 40%, you obviously at the end you've got 40%, whereas L stake, you're up at 55 to 60% because of the additional mechanics, either increasing the relative backing or feeding back into the system.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that's it, but it does help out, obviously, like we said before. Any L stake bot, it's going into Bernard bonds, so using that as
Bernard bonds. Exactly, it's going into Bernard bonds. I mean, like, in all honesty, when this goes live, I mean, like, if we get the amount that we really want to have, if we get the 150K of bootstrap liquidity, right? That's straight up on day one. There will be approximately $100,000 worth of bonds bought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's
right. Bullish.
Right. Yeah, that's just to set up liquidity. So on day dot, if we get 150K worth of liquidity, we've got 100K worth of bonds there earning yield from day one. All right. So that's why the bigger we can get the bootstrap the liquidity, the more running start we have.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, I'm bullish on L stake. We're going to talk about. I'm going to definitely have another AMA with Graham next week. I need to get my travel week over here. I'm going to be back the end of this coming weekend. We're going to get on next week, and we're going to have another full blown AMA. We're going to do those weekly, right? Explain things. We're going to try to get this liquidity built up. I mean, in the meantime, we already talked about it, guys, and maybe everybody knows it. The dreaded day 77 is coming for Plazm. AJ, what's going to happen? Are we all going to be wrecked here? Are we going to get rugged? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no doubt. Oh man, I love it, Ryan. So yeah, bro. I mean, honestly, again, I'm still incredibly impressed with the overall protocol. I mean, if we look at the way the chart has been performing compared to the Unity and Taurus, what we were a fork of, and that's not to talk bad about those protocols by any means, but just comparing the chart, we've already been able to really subdue the dumpage, so to speak, as it is. And again, I think that's with the confidence of the real yield backing, and ESHARE. I mean, ESHARE plays a very pivotal role by having the underlying asset be such a low supply, albeit volatile for sure. It really, the way that we've structured this, was a lot of, by design, and a lot was by, happy accident, in the words of Bob Ross. So yeah, I mean, we have seen that when people want to exit into ETH, so Plazm to eShare and eShare to ETH, that in turn really subdues the amount of exit liquidity that they can get. And then on the way up, it doesn't have that problem. So again, when we get to day 77, we're about less than a week away now. Yeah, we may see a bit of a crash, but I really don't think it's gonna be as bad as people think it will be. And even if it is, even if the price gets annihilated on day 77, that's when we turn the buy and burn on. And right now, again, if you're the burn page, Ryan, we have what, upwards of let's see what it is now. So yeah, I was gonna say 50, now 62 grand of buy and burn between eShare and the real yield that we've earned from bonds ready to deploy. And so that is also really powerful because we can see the price recover in a matter of days. And those that are wanting to re-enter the system, that will again really flatline the dumping from here. We can build a floor, a real true floor, and let the buy and burn start to really take over. So again, I'm excited for what to see, or what day 77 brings and what we'll see. And I know even a lot of whales that have sold, at some higher prices that are just waiting to come back in, when the price does drop. So, I think that we'll see the true power of this protocol when that happens. And then, once that happens as well, we can really start to build both volume and liquidity and buying pressure on eShare as well. Because remember, the buy and burn has to buy eShare before then go into eShare Plazm. So that again is also really, really powerful in terms of volume and what we can do for the underlying assets.
One of the other things that's one of the other things that's also a happy accident that I just realised myself is because of the interaction of eShare and Plazm, and eShare being such a low supply token, eShare's price is going to go down. That's just how it is, right? But as a result, the cost, the ETH cost to do a stake, because eShare's down, will dollar-wise be less than the same than how Taurus does theirs, because of how it's based. So Taurus tends to have the problem of people that are wanting to restake their funds, that the fee is cost prohibitive, whereas because we're on a low supply token, the dollar cost to stake will be much lower.
Yeah, that's a great point, Grover. I know you mentioned that earlier today, and yeah, I mean, again, that is a big problem we're seeing with both of those. That to put that in perspective, because the minting or because the staking fee is calculated on 5% of what it takes to create, not just 5% of Plasm, which is a common misunderstanding. What Grover is saying is 100% true. Where in those other protocols, the staking fee can be over 50% of your balance. With ours, it should remain a lot lower than that. And again, the other saving grace is easy mode. So again, we are able to use this routing system that will automatically sell. And again, people say, well, it's selling. Yeah, I mean, again, as long as we're not nuking the chart, and you have to sell a little bit. That's okay. That's all part of how this works. But with easy mode, it only sells the amount of Plazm you need to then enter again with those fees. So it's way, way better in terms of optimizing, the sell pressure. And then once it's over with, it's over with. And one last point I want to make is when people are paying that staking fee or that creation fee, that automatically feeds the buy and burn. So you
Exactly.
should be very, very happy and willing to pay those fees, because every dollar that we get in fees for creating or staking or easy mode is $300-$400 in yield down the road. So yeah, that is another way to really look at it for sure.
The feel's not taking away from your it may be taking away from value at that point, but long term it's building a greater value.
Totally.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
and you don't have to worry about any of it, Ryan, because you're going in over and over and over again, bro. Right?
Yeah, it
You're
don't
gonna be the
matter.
biggest whale in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Totally.
care what it does, to be honest. I'm in it for the long haul, just for the content. I don't think I'm gonna get destroyed whatsoever, but I'm gonna be like, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Did I do the right thing? I'm gonna do it live with you guys every single time just to see, so you guys can see, hey, what if I would have did this? What if I would have done that? And where do let's see, those are the stats. Where are my
Yeah,
actual?
go back to earn, and then you gotta go to create, Ryan, because you only
Oh,
created,
yeah.
you were on day one. So there you
Yeah,
go,
so
bro.
right,
There
so
you
right
go.
here. These, I remember when we did this on day one, the night, a couple hours into it, I put $2,000 worth of ESHARE at that time of price, and then $2,000 worth of ETH. So right now it says 1630 and 417. But this number right here, that's a real number right now, correct? Like I'd be up $4,400 on this one and almost 6K on this one, right?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, the
That's the
ROI is
number.
calculated,
Yep.
in real time, and even with the price getting annihilated from day one, you're still in the green and would be massively in the green on that second create as well. But even if that first create does go to the negative, that's what we want a lot of people to understand, that there is an instance, depending on where you got in and the timing and the price of ETH or the price of eShare, all of that is a determining factor. But even if your current ROI flips negative, what you want to do is just go back in. I mean, again, I know that sounds crazy because people equate that to compounding, forever, or going down with the ship. But because we have real yield, it will not go that way. And so the whole idea is that you want to go back in so that you're now earning even more bonus Plazm for staking or going into easy mode, whatever's more profitable. And that will mathematically put you into profit no matter what the price is, again, assuming it doesn't go to zero, which it won't because of the BBB. So yeah, I mean, that is what I want people to realize a week from now, that even if you are negative, don't get pissed and dump and leave. Or you can, but if you do that, it's just putting more value into the rest of our hands. With the ones that stay. So that's how it all plays out.
I think one good way to look at it isn't necessarily as, particularly if it is a position that's red, is it's the ROI shouldn't be looked at the dollar value at this point in time. You want to really be looking at how many Plazm you have accumulated. I mean, like when you first started, you may have created 100 Plazm, right? And which from looking at one of yours, 189. So I mean, like now you've got 11,000 Plazm. So you're earning power when you restake is like massive now, right? I'm not going to try and do the thinking, but is massive. So I mean, like you then have a larger share of what's being released by the system. So you'll earn a much more significantly a much larger share of the pie just by restaking.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, just to, elaborate on that and then we can move on. But yeah, the whole idea, and I know Ryan, you like it when I say this, but if I can remember how to say it. But the whole idea is that you're earning more Plazm than you would ever be able to buy on the market at the same price. And so that is really what you need to understand fundamentally. The protocol is very different. It's designed very, very different than most other protocols. It's not a buy and hold, or buy and try to get a quick flip. It's really entering the system as intended and then reaping the benefits in cycle 2, 3, 4, down the road. And Ryan, again, man, you're in it for the next year. So by the time we review in cycle 4 or 5, you're gonna have way over 1% of the entire supply, maybe even more. So that is really the end goal. And then you sell at that point, you just sell your yield, and now you have a legit, passive income machine, without ever destroying the protocol, and it's all fed by yield, and you're getting way more of the bond yield than you would have been able to buy on your own as well. For the same reason we said earlier with L-stake, you're essentially earning from bonds a higher percentage than you would even earn going in on your own. So that's why these sort of protocols are really powerful. Yeah.
And it's why, in all honesty, bonds should be built upon by a lot of projects. I mean, like
Yes.
it's something that's any project is serious in this space should be looking at things like bonds for real yield and looking at what's the space wants. They want stability, they want real yield, they want transparency, and they want financial stability with things such as hedges.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Exactly.
For sure. And that
Yeah.
is the next evolution is, protocols like Plazm and L-stake. And I had a meeting today with another founder. So the whole idea is that we get actual protocols to start integrating bonds as well. And speaking of that, we have another protocol, Ryan. Another one of our own. We gotta talk about FortuneFi too, right? Are you ready to show some
Yeah.
eye candy? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got it pulled up here. We'll just show it here. You can tell me what's going on here, AJ.
Yeah, brother. All right, perfect. So, again, we haven't unveiled the logo yet, but you get to see the color scheme and what we are building. Again, to remind everybody, this is a fully decentralized community jackpot protocol. Again, utilizing Bernard bonds under the hood. So it's a perpetual jackpot, meaning, as funds are deposited, they're put into bonds, and then the yield will automatically feed this jackpot without any new users needed. Now, obviously, we want new users and we expect new users, but that whole concept is really powerful and only able to be done in DeFi. And so, again, I think this could be really cool. We'll have a really attractive affiliate program as well, so others will be able to help get the word out. And again, all the yield coming in, or all the deposits coming in, go into Bernard bonds. So it's a great way to build TVL. And if somebody hits, the 1 in 300 million odds of winning the whole thing, then we would liquidate whatever bonds were bought through this system. But then 10% stays in for all of us. So it's really a win-win-win. And so yeah, this is just a quick overview. Obviously, you'll see the jackpot growing at the top. That number will grow. A portion of the yield is compounded back in, so that will always make that jackpot grow. And then obviously any new deposits. You see the countdown. It'll be drawing every Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern. Again, all this is subject to change too, but you see it all there. And then you can either do a quick pick, or you can pick your own numbers as well. And then at the very bottom, you'll see all your tickets for the week. So, and again, it'll be rollover every week. We'll have obviously the main jackpot for those that hit all numbers and the special number at the end. And we're also going to have random drawings for anybody that goes in each week for a side pot. So, you know, it'll be hopefully between 5 and 10 people a week, depending on, you know, who enters. But if only 5 people each week go in, then you're guaranteed to win, you know, that side pot. So we'll have a lot of cool incentives for people, and yeah, I'm really excited for this. So we'll have a full white paper. I discussed it on a previous AMA, but we'll have all this ready hopefully soon. I mean, like Rover said, you know, we were hoping for the first week of December, but devs will be devs. And actually, one of the devs was fighting the flu. So, but hopefully within the next week, definitely before Christmas, all this will be live. So,
Right. And this will be the drawings will be every Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. And
correct.
you need to enter each week. Like after that drawing, like all numbers are so your tickets will just be go into like will they just be deleted off the app, AJ, or how does that work?
Yeah. So they'll just go into, there'll probably be another tab at the bottom there again of active tickets and then old tickets. So yeah, it'll be each week you have tickets, and then when the rollover happens, it starts fresh. So yeah, it's not what we call a lossless draw. So again, if you win or you lose, it is what it is. So yeah, the tickets don't continue to be good moving forward. But every week,
if you win,
yeah.
if you win, you win big. If you lose a couple of bucks.
Exactly. There you go, Grover, for sure. So yeah, that's the whole point. And like I said, there will be side pots every week from part of the yield split. So again, your odds of winning the side pots are really, really good actually. So again, even if you may not win the big jackpot of, you know, what will be millions, you know, hopefully, then you can still win enough on the side. And let's face it, I mean, you know, buying a meme token is a form of gambling anyway. So why not do it something that really, you know, helps the ecosystem? And you have better odds of winning than getting rugged with a meme token. So
Yeah, exactly. And it's ETH on base, guys. It's $2 per ticket. I'm excited about it because once again, it's feeding Bernard bonds. It's just like I said before, it's a matter of time where everybody's going to either, you know, they're going to be in DexFi treasury bonds, they're going to be Bernard bonds, it'll be L-Stake, Plazm, all under one roof, and that's what people want. That's what the space needs, and I'm excited about this. So hopefully within a week, we'll have a white paper. Obviously, we'll be doing weekly. I'll be doing weekly videos on this. Maybe I'll start going live for the draw to see, you know, who wins or whatever. Maybe I'll have the winner on video, you know, come on an AMA or do a special video with them or whatever. And I'm excited about things like this because I like to, I guess it is a form of gambling when you think about it, but it's also helping the ecosystem, right? It's also helping out Bernard bonds, which helps out DexFi treasury bonds and DexFi itself and things of that nature. So be paying attention for that as well. Like I said, there will be an affiliate link for this. You guys do what you want with it, but we can have that with this, guys, because it is real yield. It's backed by real yield. So we can actually have an affiliate link. I'm giving all my affiliate money away regardless to the people who were affected in Bruno X, you know, a year and a half ago. I'm going to do it for this. I do it for EarnFi. I do it for Bernard bonds. I do it for Plazm. Everything. I always give it back. I don't need the money. I'm going to give it away. It helps me feel good. makes you sleep at night. So be paying attention for that, guys. I'm super excited about that. What else do we have here? Oh, we need to talk about EarnFi real quick, AJ. We've got
for sure.
Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. This sucker is going to come unlocked, and people are going to be able to deposit. Are we positive?
Yeah.
Are we? What are we doing?
Yeah, bro, for sure. So again, I apologize. Those that are in EarnFi, it's been a quiet month, and I've been meaning to get better about our updates. But yeah, I mean, right now we are in profit, so that's a good sign. Again, the amount of profit, we still have about 4 days to go. But we'll do an update in the Telegram for people that are already in. But if you're not in, then yeah, you need to get ready because in 4 days the window opens. And we spent this whole month, again, just to give some more insider knowledge, we've spent this whole month really refining the bot itself. So, we moved to licensed and assured brokerage. We really dialed down the bot. And again, we even admitted we maybe went too far into conservative mode, obviously protecting capital, but not earning as much. And now we took this month to really go back to the drawing board and make sure that all the prompts that the AI is trained on are appropriate and functioning. So I think people will be happy, with the yield that we're doing now. And again, hopefully it will reflect in the next 4 days. If it doesn't, then at least we know next month will be substantially better now that we've really refined all this. So, EarnFi is the long game. Again, the whole idea is to protect capital and principal balances. Even if APR might be a little lower, at least you know that we're still trying to protect capital. And again, as we see the bot get better and better, then we hope that we can ramp it back up and really start getting the returns that we had a few months ago. So yeah, I don't know. Again, Ryan, maybe go over the deposit window and the splits. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, I'm not afraid to show my bags, guys. Just like in everything else, I have $50,000 into this thing. That is a lot of money to me. Okay, I've been in it for 6 months now with 50 grand. I've made like I think 14 or 15,000 on that 50,000. So that's pretty damn good money in my opinion for not doing absolutely anything. It's been crazy. Like I was in with a smaller amount since March. I made like 18% in March. I made like 12% in April, and then we brought it out in May to the public. This is still in beta, guys, right? This is still in beta. So the bot is still learning, like AJ said. The goal is 6% monthly. The team does not get paid if they don't hit the 6%. Anything over 6%, it's a 60-40 split in favor of the investor, all right? It takes USDC on ETH. It's $100 minimum. You cannot go and have dinner for $100 hardly anywhere for 2-3 people. There's a ton of wallets with $100 in, just trying it out. Maybe they'll ape in 1 month. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're just satisfied having the 100. Doesn't matter, all right? There's a lot of people in that. I choose to have 50,000 in it because I believe in the protocol. I think it's going to be amazing once this bot gets smarter and learns and learns and learns. So Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, this window opens up again and you can make a deposit. Those who are in, you have 4 days to, you don't have to do anything if you want to compound. You just leave it alone. You can withdraw your capital and your rewards and leave and say, you know what? Thank you for the 3, 4, 5, 6%, whatever you get this month. I'm leaving. Does not hurt the protocol whatsoever. This is not a Ponzi, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It hurts nobody. You can compound by doing absolutely nothing. You can take your rewards and you know what? Thank you for the 3 to 6% or whatever you're getting. And I'll leave my capital. And just like I've left my 50,000 in for the last 6 months. It's been amazing to me. So people who want to get in and are in Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, you can place your withdrawals. You can, it's a 4-day window, 96 hours. So that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Boom. It's locked for 26 days. You cannot enter your SOL you can do nothing but watch us make a percentage every month. So pay attention to that. Sunday morning, we'll announce probably Sunday sometime, hopefully Monday, of what the percentage is going to be, of what the payout's going to be. And hopefully it's bullish, right? As long as we're in green, that's fine with me, because that 50,000 was making me nothing. I had it in stables. Stables don't make me money. All right. Holding ETH and holding Bitcoin and everything else makes me money. So with that said, did I miss anything, AJ?
Yeah, no, I think that was great, Ryan. Again, just remember it is a window. So if you are going to withdraw for the month, just make sure you submit that. And then you will not be able to claim until the window closes. And it's just based on the smart contract. And we got to bring funds back off the exchange. Again, this is all off-chain TradFi, at its finest. So just be aware of all that. And yeah, we also are dialing in the done for you and potentially the license of the crypto bot as well. So we've been still working with that. Obviously, this is a done for you option. We said, and you said last month, Ryan, that we're hoping that if we do roll out a crypto version, that we would still be able to have this. Where you don't have to learn how to run your own server and train the bot on your own to get better. So we'll probably still end up doing both. So keep an eye out for that. And that's been killing it too. We actually are working on just spot trading, meaning no leverage for that crypto bot. And the testing has been going incredibly well. So again, this is real early. We're just getting started. If you get in, definitely make sure you have some patience for us to work out the bugs. We're, like Ryan said, this is beta, but we're excited for next year on growing this even more. So,
Right. Yeah.
Another thing to note, the market for this in DeFi and TradFi is actually rather huge. I mean, like I've looked at the various other bot options and automated AI trading options through DeFi is pretty pitiful, and so the demand's certainly out there for when it goes live to everywhere.
Right.
yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited about that as well. I think we covered pretty much everything, guys. I mean, we've got, I don't know how many things we're going to need, like another, we're going to have, our AMAs are going to be like 3 hours when all this other stuff comes out, but whatever it is to get
totally.
to it. We've got Bernard Bonds,
24/7 AMA. I mean, come on.
yeah. We've got DexFi, Bernard Bonds. We've got Plazm. We've got Stake coming out. We've got FortuneFi coming out. We've got EarnFi. We've got, it's all bundled up under one umbrella, except EarnFi. EarnFi has nothing to do with EMP, but everything else, guys, one umbrella. But everything is built by AJ and his team, who does a wonderful job. And they're honest. They're doxed. You can follow the wallets, and that's what the space wants. That's what the space needs. And that's what we're doing here. And thank you, AJ, and thank you, Graham, for joining me tonight. I know we missed last week, but you know what? We got to take a week off once in a while. So that's what's happening. I'm still traveling. I'll be back next week. We're going to do another AMA with AJ. Hopefully Monday night, if I can talk AJ into it, because that's when my Plazm gets released. It would be live. It would be getting released live. We could do.
Let's do that.
Whatever. Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we'll do a little giveaway. I'll do a giveaway to somebody. Whatever. We'll make it fun. We'll do. I'm not doing easy mode. I'm doing, full blown hard mode. I don't care if it's extra, because that wasn't the deal back then. Because I do want to do create, and I do one stake. I don't care what easy mode tells me to do. I've never done things the easy way in my whole life. I'm not starting now. So with that said, guys. Sure. I think we pretty much covered everything, guys. And thank you guys for joining me, and thank you everyone for we had like 40 viewers tonight. We always get 300, 400, 500 afterwards. Please comment, please like, subscribe, get the word out. Be paying attention for, you know, news in the L stake. I'll pin the Telegram group in the description. FortuneFi is coming out in a week and a half, 2 weeks. L stake pre-launch is happening now. Things are happening, guys. Bull run is coming. It might have even started today. Who the hell knows what's happening? But depends on what Powell says tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. He's going to cut at 25. He's going to cut at 50. Probably going to be 25. Anything's better than nothing. So that might be a little more bullish as well. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, it's been an hour and a half. We covered a lot tonight. Be paying attention to my channel. Be paying attention to Plazm Telegram group. Obviously, EMP's L Stakes group. All my 5, 6, 7 groups, however I have. EarnFi's group. And pay attention. And things are coming out. We're moving at a fast pace, coming out with new things. And I love that about AJ and his team. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody has a great rest of their Tuesday evening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.